All right, good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Newfane Selectboard meeting. Today is March 7th, 6 p.m. At the table, we have Jeff Chevalier. I'll get it, I promise. And Ann Gollum, myself, Angela Sanborn. On Zoom, we have Katie Johnson-Applin, and by phone, we have Mike Fitzpatrick. I'd like to thank everyone for being here tonight. The first thing is additions and amendments to the agenda. Are there any?
I wanted to add an item to discuss a press release.
Is new business, old business?
Old business.
Anything else? Hearing none, we'll go right to the approval of the minutes for the February 22nd, 2022 regular meeting. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Unfortunately, Jeff, because you weren't present, you can't second these ones. Right.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Katie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 And I said aye. And Mike got disconnected. Abstain? Okay, great. And moving on to the March 3rd meeting, which was our organizational meeting. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve. To approve.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Great. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Great. And now we will move on to the road foreman and commissioners report. Good evening, Jay. Welcome.
Thank you. So we had our first meeting for the Newfane Village Scoping Study Group this past week, and we're currently scoring the 3 engineering firms. We'll meet again this week to go over the scoring. Once the engineer has been selected, there will be a public meeting for the select board and the Newfane Village residents to gather information as to what they're looking for, and people would like to see crosswalks and so forth. So we have the annual VTrans spring meeting tomorrow morning to find out our threshold for emergency grants for the upcoming year if we have any. We have posted weight limits on a few roads for mud season, and we've got South Wardsboro area done. Probably tomorrow will be Sunset Lake. We're just kind of, as the roads get worse, we've been doing the posting. And then I have attached the information from the town attorney for the property at 254 Depot Road to start the condemnation process. If you're not familiar with that, Jeff, it's the culvert that's below the town garage on Depot. We've been working on for almost 4 years. The property was in foreclosure, and one bank ended up with it. They transferred it to another bank, and we've never been able to get the bank. We need, forgotten the exact square footage, but not a huge amount of land to put the box culvert in. And we've never been able to get anybody from that bank to work with us. So this has dragged on forever, and now we can finally go forward with condemnation and actually take the property that need be, and they'll get reimbursed for the valuation of it, which is minimal. And then we can proceed. We've had the money, the grant to put the culvert in for pretty close to 4 years now, and we haven't been able to do it. So.
Great. Would you like us to do that now?
Sure.
So in our packet, it's in there, but it's shall the town of Newfane Select Board sign the notice of hearing to replace and improve a culvert along highway and to condemn property needed therefore. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second that.
Is there any further discussion? Great job staying on top of this, Jay.
It's been a blast.
It's been a work in progress, that's for sure. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 And we can all go ahead and sign that tonight. Katie, can you stop in and sign it at some point?
There are two other motions you didn't.
Yep, we're gonna get to those right after this one. Great. The second one is, shall the town of Newfane Select Board set a date for a site visit and condemnation hearing for the property known as 254 Depot Road, Newfane, now owned by Federal National Mortgage Association, as conveyed by quitclaim deed of Nation Star Mortgage LLC dated April 29, 2021, and recorded May 6, 2021 at Book 147, page 504 of the Newfane, Vermont Land Records. One moment. Hi, you're on speakerphone. And Mike is back with us now. Great. So Mike, we just read the motion, shall the town of Newfane Select Board set a date for a site visit and condemnation hearing for the property known as 254 Depot Road?
Yes.
For the culvert. So I'm looking for a motion.
What's that?
I'm looking for a motion.
I make a motion to accept.
Is there a second? Mike. Any discussion? What's the time frame in which to set the hearing?
So it looked like it had to be advertised for 30 days prior to you holding the hearing.
And Juanetta, can you investigate that so we can get that going?
I can put it in the paper for this week.
That's
Do
good.
you want to do it before a selectmen's meeting? Like meet over there for 10 minutes prior to a meeting, or how do you want to do it?
I won't be available until the 21st.
It would be, well, it would have to be a month anyway, so it would be April.
That sounds fine to me.
That sounds, yeah, that sounds
Fine with
great.
me.
Yeah.
So when is your meetings are, I don't have an April calendar out, but,
The 4th and the 18th.
So
So the-
probably the 18th.
yeah, it would have to be the 18th because the 4th wouldn't give you the 30 days.
Okay. Do you want to set that date now?
That will have us the,
The site visit
for the 18th.
for the 18th of April.
What time?
Do you want to do 5 o'clock?
I was gonna say even 5:30. I don't think it'll take but a minute.
And then come right into a select board meeting?
Yeah.
Sure, that sounds great for me.
And we meet at the site?
Probably yes.
Yep.
April what, 18th?
April 18th. Can we do 5 o'clock? That way we have time to get back here and get settled for our meeting. That would probably be best.
I know, I'll make it.
Well, we hope you do.
I'm having my hip put in on the 18th.
Oh, well then I guess you won't be there. Do you want us to do it before then?
Whatever you guys want to do, you know, if you want to do it without me or whatever, but
Well, we'd like to have you present.
yeah. I mean, if you want to do it before that, probably the sooner the better, actually. But,
We have to wait 30 days though.
Yeah.
what, to have a site meeting?
Yes, we have to give a 30-day notice.
Yeah. Whatever you guys got to do. I mean,
Do you
like I
want
said,
to,
that's
do you
the
want
day
to
I
do the
gotta
site
have
visit on the
so I-
15th, which would be Friday?
That works too.
Would that work, Jay?
Yep.
The 15th at 5?
All right, that'll work.
Great.
You could get that over with, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion on the table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And the last is, shall the town of Newfane notify the abutters to the property at 254 Depot Road of the site visit and hearing at least 30 days in advance by first-class mail, return receipt requested. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second it.
I second that.
Thank you, everyone.
I have 3 seconds. Who are we gonna take?
I think it was Jeff
Thank you.
first. Any discussion? You'll get that going?
Yeah.
Great, Juanetta. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Excellent. Thank you so much, Jay, for all your hard work. Tell the guys we appreciate it.
Thank you.
And hopefully the rain doesn't last too long.
Oh, yeah, it's that time of year. You're supposed to enjoy warm days like yesterday. Instead, you can worry about them.
It never ends. All right, moving on to Juanetta's, yes, sorry.
Motion to approve the report, please.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the road foreman and commissioners report?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Great. Now your
Yes.
turn.
Could I just, one more thing, tell people not to forget that next Tuesday is when the bridge closes.
Oh, next Tuesday. Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, can you
Right.
announce that on Front Porch Forum, please, Juanetta?
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday the 15th?
Yes,
Oh, boy.
Yes, Steve.
And how long will the bridge be closed?
till October.
Just a small talk.
Yeah,
It needs to be done.
Yes.
it does need to be done.
So you'll put that on Front Porch Forum? Great, thank you
I'll
so
put it
much.
on the website too.
Absolutely, that's great, thank you. And now it's time for your report.
Okay. I've created a green binder for each of you to review with the Newfane ordinances and policies to re-adopt annually. If you have any changes or recommendations, please email them to me. Otherwise, I will organize these for the board to re-adopt at the March 14th meeting.
You mean March 21st.
I'm sorry, you're right, the 21st.
Thank you.
I want to remind the select board that if you use your personal email for select board business, this will be considered public record and thus subject to disclosure and public review. We at the town office no longer have a cleaning person. We had someone in every other week for approximately 2.5 hours. I would like the select board's approval to advertise for a cleaning and a building maintenance person. Someone that would be able to power wash the outside of the building and clean the windows a couple of times a year, in addition to the inside cleaning bi-weekly. At the Thursday meeting, you asked me to contact Wyndham Regional Commission regarding the representatives for Newfane. I spoke with Chris Cantney on Friday. The additional obligation to the board and committees that the commissioners are expected to be involved with does not work to have alternate representatives. Typically, 2 representatives with time for this kind of commitment should be appointed. That was his recommendation.
Okay, great. So this is where I'm gonna ask if there's a motion to accept the administrative assistance report.
I make such a motion.
Is there a second?
Second it.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Katie. Mike beat you to the punch.
No problem.
And now we'll have discussion. And we'll start with the third bullet point about the cleaning person / building maintenance person. Would that be one in the same position?
I would like to advertise it as one and the same, make it a dual purpose.
That makes sense.
They would come in and clean bi-weekly, but as needed, do a biannual cleaning outside.
That is the same skill set? I mean,
Well,
the power washer, people who I know who are cleaners don't do power washing.
I've
I'd
known
almost say make it separate.
I've known some people, and I've actually done it myself, so it's a matter of, using a hose or a power washer and just gently cleaning the windows.
Is there anyone that does the building maintenance now?
No.
Okay. Any discussion?
I think it's great to do that advertising and find somebody. Should it turn out that you can't get the same person for both tasks, then I would just move forward with hiring whoever you can for inside and then looking for someone else separate to do the outside work.
Is that a motion?
That was a motion.
I'll
Excellent.
second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the topic? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you for bringing that up. And now we will go into conversation about the representatives for Wyndham Regional Commission. Last year we had Ann Golub and we had Shelley Huber.
I would just like to say that if Shelley is up for continuing to be on the commission, I think that's great. And if there is no one else from the select board that is interested, then I think we should go forward and appoint Shelley.
Any
I would
conversation?
second that.
Any conversation? For,
Well, I think that Shelley did a good job with it, and I said how Shelley got into the point was, because Pete Van Loon was on there forever, and I think your neighbor was one of the other ones that used to come to the town. He's in Wyndham Regional anyways.
Right.
Chris there. And I think he used to come back to the town, and because I asked, different ones about that this week, about the selectmen, and, we never really had two of us that was involved in it. But I think it's good if we have somebody on the outside, and then one with the select board too. I mean, I think Ann, and like I said, I know Shelley had a lot of interest in it anyways, and I think it's good to, she's not on the board no more, and I think it's good to have somebody on the outside doing it,
right.
And we're always trying to get people involved in the town anyways to help out with a lot of different projects, and I think there's going to be plenty of projects with the bridge and the new salt shed and the culverts, and we still got the dam up on Grout Pond, and I mean, there's plenty of projects for us selectmen to do anyways, I think,
Right. Any further discussion on that? So that was the motion that he seconded? Was that a motion?
That I made? Yes.
Yes, okay. And you had had conversation with Shelley that she's still interested?
Yes, I have.
Great. All right, all those in favor of reappointing Ann Golub and Shelley Huber to the Wyndham Regional Planning Commission? Say aye.
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 Congratulations. And you'll send Shelley a letter.
They will be going out Wednesday.
Great. Anything further on the administrative assistance report? Hearing none, all those in favor and accepting the report say aye.
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 Aye. Great. And I'd like to welcome our wonderful Williamsville Hall Committee. It's good to have you here tonight. Thank you for being here on this rainy evening. The floor is yours.
Thanks. Yeah, so congratulations to all the new and returning select board members. We look forward to working with you. And before we get to the main event, to the reason why we're here, I think you know everyone, John Julian, Norbert Benach, so I just wanted to mention on February, I think it was the 7th, I met with the town health officer, also known as Dr. Tim Schaefer, because there was a report of mold in the hall. We did a very thorough examination, visual and, let's say, smell. We went through the whole building from the balcony down into the cellar. We found no visual trace or smell of any mold, so he gave the building a clean bill of health.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that was good. And on Friday, this coming Friday, 2 o'clock, I'm meeting with Jan Lewandowski, who's the person who's been appointed by the Historic Preservation Trust to do an assessment of the building. And we're also going to have Trevor Kemp, who's the husband of one of our board members, who is also a licensed drone pilot. He'll be there, so we could do at least a cursory, examination of the roof.
Great.
So all that's happening on Friday. And we wanted to thank the town and the select board for approving our appropriation of $20,000, which means that soon, depending on the report we get from the examination on Friday, we can decide what the next steps are in improving and maintaining the building. And now we're up to our main event, which is how we deal with people who are unvaccinated, who want to use the building, and what's the best way to go about it. We know everyone has access according to the law, because there's no vaccine mandate. And when did the last mask mandate go into effect?
At our last meeting, we voted on it and it was in effect for 30
30
days.
days, so,
30 days.
yeah. When does that expire?
March 22nd, correct? No.
In and around the third week of March. I don't know exactly the moment, but we could get you the date.
March 21st.
Do you have any sense at this point if it would be extended again?
It really, I think, will in part depend on whether or not the state allows it, because I haven't heard that they have changed the law, but they have removed the mask mandate for the schools.
Mm-hmm.
So I was reading carefully to see if they made any statement about the towns being allowed to have their own mask mandates. I haven't seen anything as of yet, but I personally wouldn't be surprised if the state stepped in, but I don't know.
Of course, as of today, the CDC ranks Wyndham County as moderate risk. Bennington is high risk. So we could just consider that in your decision. At this point, we can mention names. A woman named Sarah Robinson, she contacted the committee saying she wanted to come to yoga. We asked her not to come. And I know there's some other person, the anonymous person, who also complained. We determined that everyone has the right to come to the hall. And we talked about some kind of private,
Some measures.
some measures, what we can do. We haven't had a chance to really go through all the combinations and permutations. It almost seems like I received an email from Sarah Robinson who said she's not coming to the class, either yoga or Tai Chi. So that puts the immediate, problem at bay. After tomorrow, there's a yoga class, and there'll be 2 more in the current series. It hasn't been decided if we're continuing or not. The Tai Chi class will be number 4 on Wednesday, and that no one has approached anyone about coming who's unvaccinated. So, do we want to formulate a new, system? I thought about making the classes private. The rates now for residents, the winter rate is $150 a day. We talked about lowering it. But if we lower it for one group, we have to lower it for everyone, don't we? We can't divide it out, or can we? I don't know.
I guess I think the bottom line is, in my mind, is legally, the Williamsville Hall cannot require people to be vaccinated.
Right. Yeah.
Period. End of story.
Right.
Under no circumstance. Anyone is welcome.
Right.
Anyone having a private event can make their own rules. For example, if someone were to rent it for a wedding, I would therefore assume that if someone wanted to hold their own class, and a class that was limiting it to people who are vaccinated, as long as it's private, as long as it's not being organized by Williamsville Hall, I presume, not being advertised by Williamsville Hall, that you have the right to rent it out to people who want to use it with specific parameters.
Right.
It seems to me that there could be, I looked at the agreement that you sent me about Williamsville Hall usage and policies. It seems to me that there could be, if people agree, an additional fee put in there for hourly use. So anyone who wanted to rent the space on an hourly basis, for example, to teach a class, could do so, and make the rate, reasonable so that someone could use it to do a class. We do something similar over at the South Newfane schoolhouse. And I think that, but we're private, we're owned by the village of South Newfane. So I think that you could have an hourly rate that's fairly reasonable, be it $15 an hour perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone wants to teach a class and they're presumably charging for their class, then it could be, a 2-hour class, $30. I don't think that would be onerous. But there also could be a situation where someone says they want to do something for free, but privately, and would we consider waiving the fee? And I think those are two situations that we could put into consideration. Or if you find it easier, just say there's an hourly rate of X.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And that might open the hall up for more projects since it's not a whole day.
Right.
Yeah, well, one consideration, and I don't have the figures, to heat the building for tomorrow morning's class, we turned the heat on this afternoon. Fortunately, the weather's moderating, but back a month ago, so we have to consider that. Propane, as we all know, is not cheap these days.
So then maybe the way to consider it would be to say, because of the cost of heat, this hourly type of class can only be made in the months from X to Y, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like the hourly rate idea. We can work on that and discuss it, come up with something, and keep in mind the weather. And that would open up a lot of things so anyone really, could use the hall, and it would work for all. And hopefully in a few months we'll be beyond all this, but we have no idea. So.
Right, we can only hope.
I guarantee, from everything I've read, there will be some other variant that will drive us all bazonkers until it gets figured out. And I think we're going to be learning to live with this for a very long time, and that as a community we really want to find ways to accommodate everyone's preferences.
So the people that, for example, the young woman who wanted to have a class for everybody, vaccinated or not, she's now suggesting to find her own teacher. So then it would just be whatever way she wants it then.
I didn't quite follow what you just said.
If it's a private event.
If it's a problem.
But if it is
No,
open
it's
to everybody,
Open to everybody.
It's free.
not private,
It's free.
and so
It would be free to her, she's willing to have vaccinated and unvaccinated.
vaccinated,
And
right.
it's open to everyone. According to our rental agreement, that means it would be free. It's open to the community, open to all.
Okay.
And that's what she said. She has a friend who's interested in holding a Pilates class. She's not vaccinated, blah, 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 blah. And that's something we offered her, is to have her own class.
Right.
So she's taking us up on it, and she's gonna invite everyone. So,
Great.
yeah.
Sorry,
So-
Jane Douglas has had her hand raised. Yes, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
Yeah, can I just put in my 2 cents worth? I'm
Oh,
the person teaching the Tai Chi class. It is sponsored by Senior Solutions. I am not paid a salary. They cover my liability insurance because I'm doing it for them, sponsored. It's up to me to make whatever rule I want to about the class, within reason and within whatever the Williamsville Hall rules are. At present, I have said, please be vaccinated, please wear a mask. As of the end of the month, I'm not so sure whether the mask mandate will be continued. I haven't quite decided. But I think personally, I would rather make sure that people are wearing a mask if they're not vaccinated. Am I going to be able to set that as a rule for taking the class? Because I don't think I'm going to feel comfortable teaching it if I know there are unvaccinated people not wearing masks there.
It is being sponsored by Williamsville Hall, and if the state no longer allows us to have a mask mandate, then you would not be able to require the masks. If Senior Solutions is sponsoring the class and Williamsville Hall is simply offering and renting the space to them, either for no money or for whatever financial arrangement, if it is Senior Solutions who is sponsoring it, then from my understanding, you can make whatever requirements regarding masks you want.
Okay. We aren't paying Williamsville Hall any rent. We are asking for donations to help offset the cost of heating.
Steve?
No one's making any money on this.
Yeah, the Williamsville Hall is offering the class. Jane is graciously offering the teaching. And if we wanted to restrict it to mask wearing, if there's no more mask mandate, then we could, according to this new policy, if we put it into effect, we could either have Senior Solutions rent it for an hour or someone else, Jane could rent it for an hour.
Right.
And that we could maintain the mask mandate. That's the way, and we just have to set a very reasonable fee, maybe, $10 or $15 an hour.
I would also request that, I know, Jane, just 1 second. I would also request that you take your policy document, update it, and let's just also pass it by our lawyer.
Yeah.
Yes. Jane?
Under my agreement with Senior Solutions, I cannot charge for the class.
Right.
So the agreement is that if I do it for free, they cover my liability insurance. That's-
Then we look for donations.
Yeah, we could take the donations, as meager as they are, and take $15 of it or $10 of it and give it to the town as a rental fee, if we agree on that.
Yeah.
So it's not going to come out of your pocket.
It all goes to the town.
It goes to the town.
So, yeah, that's, the hourly idea is great. That
So
could
at this
solve all our
point,
problems,
you would reconvene with your committee and discuss all of these options and then update your policies.
We have a meeting next week.
So update your policies, then send it to Annetta, who can forward it to the lawyer to give a review.
It'll be in the minutes.
Do we have a signed, do people have to sign any agreement when they rent the space?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so also, I would take a look at that document, see if it needs to be updated, and forward that to the lawyer as well.
When is the house over?
But if you're updating it, then,
This
Yes.
was revised in January 2020.
okay.
So it'll be revised again.
Excellent. And Juanetta can send it to us too to review.
Anyone else?
Yeah. We have one event coming up.
Yes.
It's the Short Film Festival, Austin, get lost. And we have some very interesting and wonderful films that will be shown.
When is that?
And that is March 26th at 3 p.m., giving us
Great.
time to see all these wonderful things.
Wonderful.
It's going to be like the
Yeah.
Academy Award.
Yeah, prizes, trophies, everything. Yeah.
William's done an incredible job. She even has a red carpet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's great.
And
So-
BCTV would be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
All right, so
All right. Anything else from our Williamsville Hall Committee?
Jane.
Oh, Jane. Sorry.
I'm not the Williamsville Hall Committee, but I'd just like to say that the Williamsville Hall is a lovely resource. The town does not have any other community center. I think anything you can do to make it available and usable by more and more people in town would be wonderful.
Excellent. All right. Anything else?
no, thank you.
All right. We look forward to seeing those updates and making it all happen.
Great.
And thank you all for being here. We really appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take 1 moment. Just take a moment while they're Okay, now we'll move to scheduled members of the public, which we have none. Unscheduled members of the public, would anybody like to speak? Okay. Moving on to old business, and I will turn it over to Ann, who would like to talk to us about a press release.
Okay, so, as we had agreed, I invited a number of speakers to come to three of our select board meetings on the 21st, April 4th, and April 18th. And the goal is to start talking about the recommendations that came out of the Planning Commission and to talk about how we might begin thinking about implementing these. I really would like people in town to be fully aware of the meetings and hopefully that they would attend. I've spoken with Angela and Winetta, and we've agreed that we would have these presentations at 6 o'clock for our first order of business, so that people who want to attend would, arrive at the moment that it was starting and know when it was starting. So if I could quickly read a press release, and then if people approve this, I would ask Winetta to send it out to the Brattleboro Reformer and to Commons, and to post it on Front Porch. So,
And our website.
and our website, good
Great.
point, yes. So I'll read kind of quickly. If you want me to slow down, tell me. The Newfane Select Board is beginning a series of conversations with planners and others regarding the use of the American Rescue Plan Act funds. These conversations will be a part of the town's regular select board meetings, and all Newfane residents are encouraged to attend via Zoom or in person. Please note, all those attending in person are required to be masked. The Newfane Planning Commission conducted a townwide survey in the fall of 2021, asking residents to select their top priorities for development. The commission then worked through the survey findings to summarize 6 recommendations that reflected the town's key requests and presented those to the select board. In response to those recommendations, the select board is scheduling a series of conversations with a variety of experts to understand what the next steps would be if we were to implement them. The schedule is as follows. On March 21st at 6 p.m., we have invited J.B. Hines from Birchline Planning and Chris Campany from the Wyndham Regional Commission to discuss how to implement a water sewer project in the town. These speakers will be responding to 2 recommendations from the Planning Commission. 1, provide funding for renovating or updating septic systems, blah, blah, blah. Implement a water septic study, blah, blah, blah. Julie Beth Hines is the president of Birchline Planning and is originally from Vermont. Her expertise is on water resource management, wastewater, and stormwater utility and program development. She has successfully overseen multiple water sewer projects across the state of Vermont. Chris Campany is executive director of the Wyndham Regional Commission and a former Newfane resident. He will explore how a water sewer project for Newfane could increase economic opportunities for the town. On April 4th at 6 p.m., we have invited Chris Campany from WRC to return to talk to 3 Planning Commission recommendations. 1, purchase and or renovate a building to develop a multi-use center. 2nd, partner with neighboring towns to create a multi-use center. I'm abbreviating these recommendations. And 3rd, support residents' health by establishing bicycle and walking infrastructure. Campany will discuss why he suggests that Newfane apply for a municipal planning grant from the state as a way to address these recommendations. Additionally, the Select Board has invited planner Maxwell Vandervliet, Associate Principal of Main Street Group, and a recently arrived resident to Newfane to join us. In his professional capacity as a town planner, he has completed a housing analysis for Waterbury, Vermont. While Waterbury is a very different town from Newfane, the issues they are facing are similar in many ways to ours. The Select Board thought it would be useful to understand the research process, how the data is gathered, and how the conclusions are drawn. A housing study similar to the one completed for Waterbury is something that can be included in a municipal planning grant if the town chooses to do so. On April 18th at 6 p.m., we have invited Stephen John, Vice Chairman of the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District Governing Board, and Jane Douglas, Newfane representative to the board. They will talk about the broadband rollout, This is in response to the Planning Commission recommendation, allocate funding for broadband drop costs and possible underground connection costs to residents when not affordable. The presentations and discussions at each meeting are anticipated to last 1 hour, and there will be time for questions and comments from town residents.
That
So,
is fantastic, Anne. Thank you so much for writing that up.
are there any suggestions for edits or anything else? Or are we comfortable going ahead and approving it so Winetta can get it to the papers?
I make a motion, we approve it.
Second? I'll second.
Katie has her hand up.
Oh, hi, Katie. She left us. Where'd she go? There she is. Did you have your hand up to second?
You're on mute, Katie.
I'm sorry, I froze. Did you call a motion? I apologize. I missed
I
the
did.
whole thing and was still talking when she froze.
That's fine. Now we're into discussion. Any discussion on the press release?
No, and that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All right, having no further discussion, all those in favor of issuing the press release to the Reformer, the Commons, the town website, and Front Porch Forum, say aye.
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 Excellent. All right, is there any new business? Anyone? And we don't have any correspondence. So with that, we'll move into pay orders, and I'd like to thank everyone for being here tonight, and stay safe and healthy, and have a great evening.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
The
Oh,
next,
sorry.
Good night.
Wait.
the next 3 meetings are not gonna be this simple or quick, so be
So be
prepared.
ready.
Yeah.